And let's do a quick recap what exactly we were doing yesterday. So yesterday we spoke about what is ARM template, and we have created a first very simple web app template. That is something we have created yesterday. Okay, so ARM is nothing but it's a Microsoft Infra as a code tool, as you know. Okay, this will help you automate the infrastructure creation and the management of infrastructure. There were few prerequisite in order to start working with it, like setting up CLI, installing Visual Studio Code, installing Visual Studio plugin. Hopefully everyone has done that. Post that, we came to Visual Studio and we created the first template, Azure Web App.json. So ARM template has an extension of .json, and post that we just created this template from scratch. Okay, we have used the schema subscription deployment template, and we have created the service plan. Don't worry about this error. This is not an error. It is not taking the resource group right now, so it's not an error, guys. So don't worry. And the second, we have created a web app. Okay, now let's go. I'm not making any changes to this template file as of now. I'll show you how do we customize if you want to customize anything. But for now, let's go and run this template and see how exactly this template will be executed. Okay. Now, before that, I may have to change the name of the web app because this web app one is very common name, guys, because your domain name should be very unique throughout the globe. And if it's not unique, your deployment will fail. So what I'll do, I'll go and change this name to something unique. Later, I'll show you how do we automatically change names and things like that using with the use of variables. Okay, I'll change it to something called Valaxy DevOps. I'll replace everywhere. Okay, wherever the name web app 1 was there, I've changed it to Valaxy DevOps. The reason is we need some unique name, and hopefully this name is unique. Okay, now my template is ready. I got two resources getting created. I got one service plan which is getting created. The service plan name is, even though if it's not unique, that's totally fine. This web app name should be unique because this is your domain name, basically your website name in short. Okay, how do we execute this template? There are multiple ways to execute the template. For now, I'll show you how do we execute from the command line. So go at the top, there's an option of terminal. Click on new terminal. Now you'll see this is PowerShell. If you want to change to some other terminal like Git Bash, we can change it to Git Bash because we are used to of Git Bash, so we can just go and use Git Bash over here. You can also use PowerShell, guys. It's the same command, nothing else, nothing changes. It's the same command. Okay, how do we execute this now? The first thing is, as I said yesterday, the first thing is you will require a resource group to be created. What you will require? You will require a resource group to be created. Now let's go ahead and create the resource group. How do we create the resource group? The command is az group create -L stands for location, East, US, and name of your resource group. So what is the resource group you want to name it? Valaxy -RG. Okay, don't worry about this commands, guys. The command is given in my template file and in my notepad. All these commands will be shared with you after this session. Okay, don't worry about the commands and all. Okay, so this will go and create the resource group for you. Let's wait while the resource group is creating. Now, if you see, the resource group was successfully created. This is the only thing which you need to create manually because the ARM template is as if now it's not supporting resource group creation. Okay, so this got created. Let's verify. Where it got created 3658. Okay, it's a different account it got created. Okay, Valaxy, this is where my resource group is created. Perfect. Once this is created, how do I run the template? So in order to run this template, we can simply run this command azcli. So the command is az deployment group create, give your resource group name. The name is Valaxy RG, followed by the template name, template file, where exactly the file is. So we are in the current directory itself. So the file name is azwebapp.json. That's it. So az deployment group create resource group Valaxy. So you're giving your resource group name and you're giving your template name. Okay. But before you run, if you want to check what exactly we'll be creating, so if you want to do a kind of preview, you can even do that with the help of a flag called what if. So there is a flag called what if, using which you can check what exactly is getting created. Okay. So there is a switch what if. How do I use this switch? I can use this switch somewhere over here. -C. You can also use something like this, what if, or also you can use a shortcut -C. Okay. Okay, let me give him the template file name. Okay, let's execute it. So there's some error over here. Okay. Let's remove this what if command. We'll run it later. Yeah, so your deployment has started, guys. Don't worry about this command. This is all command I'm getting from Microsoft documentation, guys. So azcli documentation. Now, if you go through this documentation, you get all the CLI commands, whatever we are executing. See this AZ group create. Now, if you go inside this, you'll get to know what all things you can use. Group create, location, name. This is how your resource group will be created. Now, if you come down, this is how the resource group will be deleted. Now, these are the commands which you can use it. So it's all there. And even for deployment, if you go up, there is a command for deployment. So AZ group create, this is the command which we are using for deployment. See what all flags did I use? I used resource group flag. I've used template flag. And there is a command what if also you can use. Okay, I'll show you the what if again in the second run. For now, let's go and create a resource group. Okay, so you can find the commands in the documentation. This is nothing I'm running from my end. It's just you to know what command needs to run. Okay, all your commands are given over here. Okay, let's come back. Okay, there is an error with this template. At least one resource deployment. Please list operation details. Bad request message. The host name Valaxy DevOps is invalid because. Okay, we are using underscore, guys. So if you see this error, the host name Valaxy underscore DevOps is invalid because it contains unsupported characters. So this is the error which we got. So basically what we need to do, we need to go and change this underscore to hyphen. So underscore is not supported, so you don't need to use underscore, and I think hyphen is also not supported. So let's keep it Valaxy DevOps over here. Okay, so this is how you'll be going and checking the errors. So make sure when you're running a template, check if the template was succeeded or if it failed. Let me run it again after the changes. By now, I think the service plan might be created. Let's go and check it. Yeah, the service plan was created. Only the web app creation has failed. Anyone, any questions in the meanwhile? And don't worry. Yeah, tell me.
I just created the template, but I've got an error at the top. When I put in the first like template bit section,
Okay.
and it's saying that it doesn't like the resource group. Yeah. Oh, okay. You've got the thing as well.
This error.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this error is basically it is not liking the resource group because there's no resource group created as of now.
Okay.
Okay. So that
Yeah.
is fine. That is totally fine. This error is fine.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
No problem. Now, if you see this, guys, my resource group has created a web app successfully. Now, this is what the web app got created. If I refresh it, this is what Valaxy DevOps web app got created, and this was created successfully. If I try to access this, Valaxy DevOps.Azure websites.net. So I'll be able to access my web app. Perfect. This is working perfect. Okay. Now, if you want to delete, because I'll be recreating, guys, so I'll be deleting things. If you want to delete, you can just simply do a delete operation by the command az group delete. So you can use the command az group delete, and you can give the resource group name as, what is the name of your resource group? Valaxy RG. So what it will do, it will go and delete your entire resource group and all the resources which is related to it. Okay. So let the delete operation run, and in the meanwhile, let's come back to your template now and let's edit your templates now. Now, if you see, if you noticed, as if now we just have a very simple template written. It's a by default template. We have not customized anything. We're not added any parameters. We have not added any variables. Anything as such, we have not added to it. Okay. So let's go and start adding things to this template. Okay. So the first thing what we'll add is variable name. Now this Valaxy DevOps, this is the name which we have given, and we were waiting that this name should be unique. Now what if this name is not unique and my deployment fails in the midway? So how do we tackle such things? So this thing, variable group. This thing can be tackled by using variable group. Now how do we define variables? So this is a variable over here. I can go and define variables over here. Okay, let's go and start defining variables. Is the deletion done? Yes, still going on. That's okay. Let's go and start working. So variables is something the values can be assigned automatically to your resources. Okay, so how do we assign values? I can assign the values with the name of. So which value do I want to assign? I want to assign the value over here, the web app value, correct? So I can have something like web app over here. This should be under double quotes, web app hyphen name. Okay. Now variables is something it will take key value. So you are defining key. At the same time, you need to define the values also. Now I need unique values. Like if I want Valaxy DevOps followed by some unique string, that is something I want. So I can use a function called concat. As soon as I'm using the bracket, if I come down, there is a function called concat. Concat will what exactly it will do? It will combine, add two strings. So if you see the over here, it's a function. It's a function which is a predefined function, and it can take multiple arguments basically. So combine multiple values and return the concatenate result. So basically it can accept either string or arrays of the parameter, and it can return the values to you. So if you want to add two strings, then concat is the right function. Why exactly I'm using concat, I'll tell you now. So it accepts two value. So let me give two value to it. The first value, I'll put this as Valaxy. Okay. The second value, I want a random generated, like suppose I have Valaxy dev over here. Okay. So Valaxy dev, I'm not sure whether the Valaxy dev is unique or not. So I want random values to be generated over here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I want some random values. So from where I want to generate the random values. So I can use a flag unique string. Again a function. This will what it will do. It will go and generate random values for me. Now, if you come down at the bottom, do you see this example over here? That is what similar we are doing right now. So I'll have a unique string and I'll get this random value generated basically from my resource group. So because the resource group will be created first, so I can have my random value generated from my resource group ID dot ID. So I got a resource group ID. It will go and generate random values from a resource group. Okay, don't worry about this error because this is not defined yet. I'm not calling this web app yet in my variable. That's why you're getting this error. Web app name is not valid. That is okay. Understood, guys? We are concatenating. So basically, what when my web app will be created, I'll have something named like Valaxy dev and some random generated values dot Azure website .net. So this name is unique. What is my requirement? I need a unique name for my web app. So this is name. This is something a unique name will be assigned. Okay, that is what this variable is doing. So this variable will take this name because the resource group gets created before any of your resources gets created, guys. So this will take this name, add this resource ID. So it will generate some unique string from that resource ID. Okay, and it will give that value to this web app name. Now this web app we can call inside over here. So I can call the web app over here. I can call this values inside my variables. Now what is the name of the variable? Web app. That's it. This is how you will be calling the variable name. Copy the same thing again, put it wherever you want. There's one more place, correct? Over here. That's it. So what will happen? Automatically the names will be assigned over here. So this is tag. If you don't want to use this, even that is fine. That is okay. Over here also in the properties. So the error might be gone. The error is still there. Concat. Okay. Unix
Said
string.
it didn't like the hyphen in the name. If you highlight over it, it
No,
said
that is
something.
not. That is okay. There's no hyphen is accepted. Underscore is not accepted. That's
Oh,
okay. We'll try to run it and we'll see. Are we using the correct functions? Concat Unix string. Yeah, looks good. Let's try to run it and see. We'll use the same command. This time I'll use the flag at the end or after the group create. Why it is not accepting C? Resource group not found. Sorry guys, we need to create the resource group first. What was the command? Az group create location east US resource hyphen group. What is the name? Valaxy hyphen RG. Okay, done. So we have defined a variable. Now we are running the template file to see if everything is working. Later we'll run this template using pipelines, guys. So this is, I'm showing you manual right now if you want to run things manually. Now all thanks to the hyphen C flag, that is a what if switch we have used this time. Now it is giving you a preview kind of structure, like what exactly is getting created. So the first resource which is getting created is your service plan over here. The name is app service plan 1. The second is what is your web app which is getting created. Do you see your web app name over here, guys? Valaxy hyphen, and there are some unique string which got attached. This is what variable is doing right now. Okay, automatically assigning values because we need a unique value over here. If you don't provide unique value, your web app creation will fail. Okay, so I'll just have yes. I'll say yes to it now, and it will go ahead and create the resources for me. This is what hyphen C is doing. It's giving you a preview. It's very similar to Terraform plan command. If you know Terraform, then there's a command called Terraform plan which gives you a preview. So similar thing, you can do it in ARM also. Resources getting created.
I'm sorry. Could you just scroll up and can you just show the text of how you created the variable again, please?
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
in variable creation, I'm using, I don't worry, I'll be sharing this template file also now today where the variable is. Okay, so basically I'm using a key and this is a value using two function. The first function is a concat. Concat takes two arguments. So this is one argument and this is the second argument. Okay, so this is the name which I want, followed by some unique string. So this is a unique string resource group dot id. This is a classic example of variable. How do we use variable in ARM templates? Okay, now if I go back, my resource is created. This is my resource group. Now do you see this name? This name was auto assigned, guys. Now if you want to run this template 100 times, you can run this template 100 times and automatically it will go and create 100 web apps for you. Okay, if you change the resource group, it can create, you can reuse this template n number of times. So why did we add variables? There's no need of hard coding. You can use the same template n number of times and you can create n number of resources using this template. Okay. Now the point is, do you think you need this name is acceptable? Some unique string and things like that. Do you think this name is acceptable in production in reality? So the answer is no. How will you identify what exactly is this with this unique string? You should have some name such as this, correct? Valaxy hyphen dev, then you should have Valaxy hyphen QA, then you should have Valaxy hyphen prod, something like this, correct? This is how this will make sure that this is a dev environment, this is a QA environment, this is a production environment, correct? This such naming convention should be there, not this one. This is a random generated number. So this is for testing and development. This is okay, but in reality, this will not be used, guys. Such unique string will not be accepted. Okay, then how do I get this fixed? Let's delete this first. Always keep a practice of deleting one once you're done with your practice, guys. Okay, don't keep the resource, because if you keep the resource as it is, you'll get unnecessarily charged. Okay, what is the name of the resource group? Valaxy-rg. Okay, let's come back. Now, what exactly are we expecting? I don't want this unique string, but I want the naming convention which I have selected over here. I want Valaxy dev, Valaxy q, and Valaxy prod. This is a naming convention which I want. How do I get to this naming convention? So for getting such naming convention, we have to switch to parameters. For now, I'm just commenting this out. What we need to switch to? We need to define our parameters now. Okay. So what all parameters you can define? You can define parameters for your service plan name if you want to have a unique name for your service plan also. Because even as if now even your service plan is hard coded right now, guys. If you try to run this again, your service plan is already present. So it will not let you create. It will give you error if you try to rerun your ARM template. So even this name is hard coded over here. So wherever you see the names are hard coded, you need to change that name with parameters. So this is hard coded. Your SKUF1, like if you're running the template again, and if you want for the other template you want to use B1, and if you're hard coding this value over here, this will not work. Other names are hard coded, like your web app name is hard coded over here. So all this, whatever you see, whatever things are hard coded, that can be converted as either as a variable can give you such values, or as a parameter. So the suggested approach will be parameters, so that you can provide the value when you're running the pipe, when you're actually executing your ARM template. You don't need any randomly generated values, but yeah, definitely you need values which can be assigned when you are executing the pipeline during the runtime. At that time, if you want to assign a value, at that time you can assign the value. Okay, so let's go and define parameters. So the first parameter I can define is the app service plan name. So I'll just have something. If you just do n over here, so it will add new parameters. All these things will be added automatically. You can just give name as, what is the name? Service plan. Okay, service plan hyphen name. Okay, I need a string value. I can give a description, a quick description over here. Enter service plan name. Okay, perfect. This is one created. Now I need, for my, if I want to use it over here, I can do it. For now, just use for web app name. I need one more parameter defined for web app name. Give a comma, come down, use n again, new parameters. Write this over here, web app name. I need a string value, so I can enter web app name. Now, if you want to have some default values, you can do it. I can have some default values over here. Like if no one is providing anything, use this value. Like Valaxy dev. If nothing is provided, then use this value. If you want to have some default values, you can add a default values over here. So what did we do? We created two parameters. For now, I just remove the default value. This is not required. What we did, we created two parameters, service plan and web app name. And this parameters can be called inside your resource group now. So wherever you see this service plan, I can have removed this part. I can use brackets, use parameters, use open and close bracket, and what is the name? Service plan name. That's it. So what will happen? Whatever names you will define over here. So this values you need to provide during the runtime. When you run your ARM template during the runtime, you need to provide these values. So that values will be placed over here automatically. Display name, if you want to change, again the same thing, brackets, parameter, open close bracket, and service plan. Properties also you want to change, bracket, parameters, curly braces, not curly, service plan name, and the single quotes. Where else we have a, so over here in the dependency, depends on, also there is a service plan. Now this is service plan. You don't need to use this bracket now. Why? Because you're already there inside the bracket. If you see, you're already there inside the bracket. So what you can do is just remove this part. Just use parameters. Now have this bracket, service plan. Okay. Now where else? Over here also. Now the same thing I'll do it with my web app name. Now this time web app. I'll just do a copy paste, guys. Perfect. Now what did we do? We replaced the variables with a parameters now, and this parameters values we can assign when we execute our template file. Okay, easy, done. Now let's go and execute it. I'm not using -c now. See, it is asking please provide string value for service plan name. Okay, if you want to know more about this, do a question mark, enter. So whatever we have written in the description, it will reflect over here. Enter service plan name. I'll just name it as Valaxy-dev. Hopefully this name should be unique. Please, okay, sorry, I gave the wrong name. That was my service plan name, guys. Service plan name, I name it as Valaxy-service. Name it as give some good names. Valaxy-sp stands for service plan-dev. So basically this service plan is for my dev environment. Now Valaxy-dev, this is my, now this will take the values automatically and it will go and create the web app for me. See, automatically it started taking the value. If there's any error, it will give me the prompt over here, and no unique strings, nothing as such. Whatever naming convention we want, we are providing the naming convention during the runtime. Now, in a true manner, if you ask me, this template can be reused whenever you want, how much time you want. This can be shared across, this can be used multiple times because there's no hard-coded value. There's one hard-coded values over here because purposely I did this. I don't want anything else to be created apart from F1 because F1 comes in free tier. Anything else if you're creating that doesn't comes in free tier, guys. So that's why I've created this F1. But if you want to define this as a parameter, even that is possible. And if you want to assign these values while you're running the template, even that is possible. Only this value is hard coded right now. Okay, now if you see this error, my deployment has failed. Website with a given name Valaxy dev already exists. So someone is already using this name. Okay, so what I can do, I can rerun it. I use the same name Valaxy -sp -dev, and over here I'll use Valaxy -dev, and I'll use some unique characters. I'll give numbers over here 1 2 3. This way we can make sure hopefully this Valaxy dev 1 2 3 is available. Let's wait. Anyone, any questions? Anyone? No questions, guys? This is something you need to try it multiple times. Then only you will understand how do we work with ARM, guys. By just seeing, you'll not understand anything. You need to go and practice this by yourself. Try running ARM template multiple times. Try creating multiple resources. This is the only one resource which I have created, that is a web app. Or similarly, if you want to create something else like virtual machine or virtual network, a database, and everything can be created with the same method which I'm using right now. Nothing alien. If you want to create a storage account, a vault service, everything will be created using the same exact same method. Okay, let's
I
wait. Yeah, tell me.
quick one. So the way you passed in the values for the parameter,
Mm-hmm.
can you build the string with the ARM template? So I know you did it with the random, but if I wanted it to be like to change to put in QA or dev instead, could I build the string somehow?
Could you please repeat yourself, like what exactly you're trying to do?
So I'm trying to think how we do it at work. So we use in with Terraform,
Uh-huh.
we build like the FQDN for
Okay.
the that we want,
Okay.
and we use like local variables I think to do that.
Okay.
Is there a way of doing that here? So if I wanted it to be like Valaxy dot dev dot
Uh-huh.
something, um, could I pass that at runtime, or would I have to put it in? Would I have to set it somewhere?
Okay, you can definitely, so as if now I'm showing you the manual way, wherein I'm
Mm-hmm.
passing things manually right now, just
Mm-hmm.
to give you a glimpse, because later when I automate this entire thing, you should know how exactly this got automated. Okay,
Okay.
what exactly is happening in the backend. Now, the second step after this, I'll show you a separate, like how you do it in Terraform. You create a variables.tf file, a separate file, and you
Mm-hmm.
define all your variables with the values over there, correct?
Yeah.
Same thing we can do it with ARM also. That is something I'll show you. No, don't worry. The next is where we'll create a parameter file. We'll have all the values placed over there, and my ARM template will automatically go and fetch those values from from that particular parameter file. So we'll do that. Don't worry.
Awesome.
Yeah, we can
Thank you.
do that. Now, if you see this time, there was no issue and my resource was created successfully. Now, see, this is the name. Valaxy-dev. This is more good looking name than what we saw when we were providing the Unix string. Okay, now this is done. Now I'll just go and do a delete again. Now let's go back to the question what was asked. How do we assign values beforehand? Now this parameters, whatever parameters you can see over here, we can assign default values like this in the same parameter file, or you can do one thing, you can create one more file, is the parameters.json. There's nothing, no naming convention written over here given. Whatever namings you want to use, you can stick with the same naming, followed by just make sure that your files are ending with .json. That's it. Okay, so we got this parameter file got created. Now we can go and create parameter values. How do we create it? Let's go and do it. So the same thing, just use a. Now in this time we need something called this parameter template. Previously we were using subscription template. This time I'll be using parameter template. See, it has only three things: schema, content version, and parameters. And this time if you see, this is deployment parameters. What exactly is this? Deployment parameters. Now how do I define my parameters? So whatever parameters you have defined in your actual file, the same naming will be used over here. So the first is service plan name. Let's take this name. Make sure the same naming you're using. If you make even a typo, uppercase, lowercase, anything as such, you will end up getting error. Okay, semicolon. Parameters can be defined as key value. Okay, so the values, I can define the values over here. Now values, I can give a name as Valaxy hyphen sp hyphen dev. Correct, the same name. Now this is the place where I can define the values now. Okay, coming back, there's one more. What it is? Web app name. No value. So basically you're defining the values inside your parameter. Now I can use the same name, Valaxy hyphen dev. Just give extra character 1, 2, 3 over here. Okay, if you want to have parameters for your SKU also, let's do that. This time that is SKU. I can have parameters for my SKU string, and with SKU I can have provide SKU value. Okay, something like this. With SKU I can have something like allowed values. So I don't want unnecessarily, because if I leave it on developers, what they will do, they will unnecessarily use whatever values they want. Okay, so I'll just have one more criteria over here, such as allowed values. Only these, apart from these, nothing else will be allowed. So such as I can give values such as F1 is allowed, that comes in free tier, and I can also allow B1. B1 also kind of free tier only. Only these two values are allowed. So what is the beauty of doing this? Let me have this as SKU. What is the beauty of doing this? Only these two values can be used. If the developer tries to use some P1 or S1 and all those production level web app, they cannot use it. if we are using such allowed values arguments inside your parameters. Now this is something I need to use it over here. Perfect. This is something I can call it inside my resource service plan itself. Okay, sorry, this is not the place to define. This will be SKU only. This is where F1 is defined. I can just have the parameters defined over here. Okay, capacity. If you want to change the capacity, you can do that also. See, SKU defined. Okay, if you're defining the parameters over here, then make sure define the same thing inside your parameter files also. SKU. This over here you can define the value. F1. Perfect. Now there are three parameters which you have defined inside your file. Okay. One is the service plan name. The values are given over here. The second is a web app name. The values are given over here. The third is a SKU. The values are given over here. Well, this is incorrect. Wait, guys, this is incorrect. There's one curly braces. From where did I remove? Perfect. This is perfect. I've given extra curly braces somewhere over here. That's why I was getting the error. Okay. This looks good. How do I use this now? Let's create a group first. The resource group is getting created. Done. Now this time, let's have Azure deployment group create, and I'll give a resource group name over here. Resource group name is Valaxy-RG. Now I need to give a template name over here. Template file. What is the template file name? Easy web app, correct? Now I need a parameter also. Now this time is not just the template file, guys. We got a parameter file also. So there is a flag called parameters through which you can pass on the parameters. And how do we pass on the parameter? The way is, let's call the name first, AZ parameter. Okay. Now the syntax is under single quotes followed by @ and the parameter name. This is how you will be calling parameter file inside your, when you're executing your ARM template. So the command is AZ deployment group create, resource group name, template file, and the parameter name. And the parameter is defined single quotes @ and the parameter file. Make sure you're there inside the same folder and are executing all this from the same folder. Now this time, if you see, it is not prompting me for any sort of enter value or anything as such. It is directly taking the values from my parameter itself. Okay. Both the files I'll be sharing with you guys. Don't copy paste and run it. Try to recreate. See, I'm not writing any, I have not written even a single line of code. It's all with the help of the plugin. We have written this entire thing. Okay. So use the same method, follow the same process, and try to recreate this template by yourself from scratch. In tomorrow's session, I'll show you how do we execute this template using pipelines, and I'll show you easy methods and easy way to create template. Now this is by scratch. We are doing everything from very beginning, but in reality, there is more easier way to create ARM templates, which I'll show you tomorrow. Now, if you see, let's go and verify if things are created. Okay. Now, do you see? You got your resource, your web app created, and your service plan got created. Now, whenever you want to reuse, just run the template again, and this time you just need to make changes to your parameter file over here. Okay. If you're doing it manual, with automation, even these values, what you see over here, with automation, I'll be changing these values when my pipeline gets executed. So we'll make use of variables over there, pipeline variables, and tomorrow I'll talk more about pipeline variables also. Okay. So that's it for today's, guys. If you have any question, please do let me know. Or let's do a quick reiteration what exactly we did today, what all things we did today. We understood how do we pass in variables inside ARM template. We passed a variable and we assigned the variable value to a web app name. Secondly, in order to give a custom name, what we did, we created a parameter and we passed the values while running the ARM template. Thirdly, we created a separate parameter file wherein we passed the default values, and while executing the ARM template, automatically the values were taken from the parameter file itself. Okay. Yeah, that's it for me. If anyone has any question, please do let me know. Let me go and delete this. Tomorrow we'll execute the same template file. The only difference is we'll execute this using CI/CD pipeline. Okay. Now we'll integrate this same template with existing ASP.NET application what we have created previously, and we'll create the web app first. Post that, we'll deploy the application on this web app which will be created. Okay. And we'll understand pipeline variables in great details tomorrow. That is something we'll understand. Okay. Anyone? You're welcome, Victoria. Anyone, any questions, any doubt? Make sure, guys, I'll be sharing this with the Valaxy admin team, and they will be eventually sharing with you guys this template files, or else I'll share it in the WhatsApp in the meanwhile if you want to practice now. I'll share this notepad also for you guys to practice. Make sure to practice, and if there's any question, any doubt, please do let me know. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Bye bye.